Hey guys, and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Falsebound Kingdom. As always, I'm Demon493, and last time we unlocked Mai in the Minion of Darkness scenario. We also found our enemy, Marik and also unlocked Gemini Elf Kachua. Kachua. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Doesn't matter, we're not using her. We're going with the classic Harpy Lady setup. Wait. That's not right. There we go. Right? Yeah. And also we talked about Game of Thrones. And spoilers, I'm recording this the same night that I recorded last week's episode. So I still haven't seen what is now last week's Game of Thrones episode. So I don't know what happens at this point in time. But once this episode airs, I will have known what happens. It was crazy, wasn't it? Oh, my God! That thing with that person! It's time to put them in the ground. Is everybody ready? Ma'am, yes ma'am, I'm ready. I'm even more ready. Knock it off. When did you two start working for her? I thought I was the leader here. Is it because of her big boobs? It is. It is most definitely because of her big boobs, boss. She's really beautiful, boss. We just can't say no to her. Oh, isn't that sweet? How would you like to work for me full-time? Really? Do you mean that, ma'am? Yes, as my footstool. I said knock it off. While you two are bickering, the enemies arrived. Oh, hey guys! How you all doing? There's a big fight time, huh? This is the enemy? This small force of nothingness? Really? I mean, okay. Sure. We're just gonna send some people out. Who's coming at me? An officer with Kai's Dragon, Parrot Dragon, and Cursed Dragon. And an exact copy of the exact same army. Interesting. Mai, go ahead and take Suget. I don't even know where we need to go to win. I wasn't paying attention. Was it Gig and Sip? It sounds like it's probably Gig and Sip. If I had to guess, I would probably say Gig and Sip. Tristan, take him on out. Alright. So, the last two episodes, we've talked about The Walking Dead, we've talked about Game of Thrones. What more could I talk about today? Well, I could talk about Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's an interesting one. So, there's been a little bit of time since Endgame, so I feel comfortable with, talking about it. This is basically a warning that if you haven't seen Endgame yet and you don't want it spoiled, to not watch this episode. Because spoilers will ensue for Endgame. And pretty much every single Marvel movie coming up before that, I guess. So, I learned this. This is an interesting fact. A little factoid about the movie. The Russo brothers are assholes. And I don't mean that in a really bad way, I just mean like, what a dick move they did. So for those who don't know, they didn't tell all of the actors at the end of the movie that they were at a funeral. They told them they were at a wedding. So, yeah. That was an interesting little twist there. Some of the actors looked a little happy in that scene. So, that's just a little tidbit of information that I thought was hilarious. But the events of Endgame open up so many possibilities for things because they make so many changes. But I was not expecting some of the deaths that happened. So, real quick, I'm not gonna explain the plot of Endgame, really, for those who haven't seen it. But I'm gonna basically be spoiling who dies and who lives and why. So, I mean, obviously, Iron Man died at the end. So that's one casualty that I was not expecting. Because although, you know, Tony Stark and Iron Man, that was the first movie of the series, and, you know, Robert Downey Jr. has been with the franchise the longest and has been in the most of them, I didn't think that they were going to kill him off because of the fact that, you know, at the end of Infinity War, he basically had his surrogate son of Peter Parker get dusted by Thanos, and so he would have something to fight for and bring back that child, and then go and settle down with Pepper at the end to have his own child. Then Endgame did the crazy thing of going, hey, we're gonna open up with, you know, here's Tony and Nebula on the ship, and Tony's going on about, he's doing these video logs. That kind of made me go, uh-oh, he might die in this. And then they immediately kill off Thanos, and then 5 years later, he's got a daughter. It's like, uh-oh, they might kill off Iron Man in this. If he's got a daughter already, oh shit. Now he's got something to lose. Oh, God. And then, sure enough, at the end, they killed him off. But I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting Captain America to die. Maybe Thor. I called for a fucking fact Black Widow dying because it was a perfect character arc for her to sacrifice herself. I didn't realize until the moment that they decided to make the time heist. And it's like they each have to go to one of the locations where somebody, or where the stones were, you know. The moment that they said that, I'm like, oh, so Black Widow's gonna go to where the Soul Stone is with Hawkeye, and she's gonna end up jumping off the cliff. Called it! I didn't realize before going and seeing the movie that was exactly what was gonna happen. I just sat there and thought that Black Widow was gonna sacrifice herself, so that's 2 deaths. And if you go by that timeline, those are the only 2 deaths. But there are other deaths that they don't address in that timeline. So, in that timeline, when we focus on Endgame the whole time, right? They never, you know, really focused on the events that happened before in this movie. So, the characters who died in the previous movie, still dead. That means Heimdall and half of the Asgardians are all dead because Thanos didn't snap them out of existence. He fucking slaughtered their ship. Actually, I don't even think it's half. It was like everybody that was on that goddamn ship. Except for the people who wound up in New Asgard. But that was weird to me. So, Heimdall and all the Asgardians. We'll just say all the Asgardians, because pretty much all the ones that mattered except for Valkyrie. And Loki. So that's 2 extra main characters there. So that makes 4. Then, we have Vision died. You know, when the Mind Stone was ripped from his goddamn head at the end of Infinity War. Vision's dead. No more Vision. And lastly, Gamora is dead. Even though they did the time travel stuff and she was technically in Endgame, she was dead. because she was in the past and doesn't have any of the memories that Gamora had. She didn't know Quill, she wasn't in love with Quill, anything like that. And so when she gets thrown off the cliff by Thanos and everything, she's dead. And the timeline going forward, she is dead. Which means that Guardians of the Galaxy 3, likely, if it ever actually comes out, because it's kind of in limbo right now, but if it actually ever comes out, it will probably not have, sadly, it will not have Gamora, and Gamora has been replaced by Nebula, as we saw at the end of Endgame when they were at the funeral, and Nebula was standing there with them. She's a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Which I also love Nebula's character arc, from like being evil in the first Guardians, second one, and she's just, you know, you were the one who was always wanting to be better, to win. I would just wanted a sister. It's, Nebula, your character, so much depth. And then Infinity War and Endgame, her turning on Thanos and wanting to kill him and helping the Avengers. It's crazy. So that leads us in to Spider-Man Far From Home, which is currently the next and only movie left of the Marvel series right now. As of my recording this, there has not been any new ones announced. So, Spider-Man Far From Home is the end of the line at the moment. And the thing about Spider-Man Far From Home is that trailer number 2 hit, and Nick Fury dropped the fucking bombshell that Mysterio in this movie is from another Earth, opening up the MCU to the multiverse. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, I know that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse already did that, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was technically not a part of the MCU. Didn't have any of the other characters. It's just a part of Sony's own Spider-Man Spider-Verse so far. So, but Far From Home actually ties in to the other MCU movies and is going to talk about the goddamn multiverse, which could open the fucking Pandora's box to literally any story ever. I mean, they could go and say, hey, remember in Endgame when they screwed up getting the Tesseract in New York, and Loki ended up picking it up? Let's go explore that movie. What happens in that timeline where Loki escapes from New York with the Tesseract? Where does he go from there? Here's a movie about that. They could go, hey, remember that time that Captain America went back in time to return all the Infinity Stones? Let's go watch that. Have that be a movie. And where he went with the hammer. Like, what happened with Thor's hammer? Did he give it back to past Thor, or did he just lose it somehow? And so many other things. I mean, they could be like, hey, that timeline that we already had where Thanos had snapped half of everybody out of existence. Let's continue forward with that timeline, the dark timeline, and see where that leads us. Sounds like it leads us to a great fucking place. But they could just do so much. Oh wait, no, that's right. There is also the Black Widow movie, but that's in the past. So that can't really continue the storyline forward. It can just tell backstory for Black Widow, considering her story is ended. She died. we could explore any of the 1,500,000. How many different outcomes were there, Doctor Strange?
14,605,000.
Yeah, we could establish. We could have movies for each one of those and see how those turned out. Because that would be great to watch Thanos win 1,000,000 times. And whatever happened to Mordo? The guy that was training with Doctor Strange, who at the end of Doctor Strange went and took the powers from the guy who was paralyzed, who used his magic to make himself not be paralyzed anymore. What's Mordo's plan for the world? He thinks there's too many sorcerers. So is he gonna become a villain and go taking on some sorcerers all over the place and fighting the good guys and being a bad guy? I don't know. And what of Howard the Duck? The most important of all Marvel characters. Technically the very first Marvel character to be in a film, I think. Right? I mean, part of an MCU. Well, no, he's not really a part of the MCU, but he was certainly, like, one of the first to get a full-length feature film developed by the Marvel Studios. You don't know about that? Go look up honest trailers for Howard the Duck. It's fucking nuts. Too many duck puns. But, you know, he's been in a couple scenes. And what of Adam Warlock? Will he be the villain for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if it ever comes out? Because the Syndicate, or whatever the hell they're called, wanted to create new life, and clearly that was going to be Adam Warlock, but Adam Warlock in the comics is like a good guy, so if she designed him to fight the Guardians of the Galaxy, is he going to be like, sure, I'll fight him, and then at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy he realizes they're not bad, I'm not going to kill these guys, I'm actually going to join them on their next adventure. And where do the Guardians go from there? Where does everybody go from there? I mean, clearly Falcon gets to be the new Captain America, which I wasn't sure if it was gonna be Falcon or if it was gonna be Bucky. But going into Endgame, I thought Captain America would die, and one of the two of those would take up the mantle as the new Captain America. But I did not at any point think that Iron Man would actually die. That just made me sad. Everything. But now, Spider-Man gets to be the new Iron Man, basically. He gets to try and fill the shoes of the new Iron Man. Or as the new Iron Man. Iron Spider-Man. And since the kid who plays him is so young, they can go on forever with that, for this franchise. They just have to figure out where they're going with it all. King and Sip was liberated. Well, this should keep him off our backs for a while. I think so. I don't think Marik's unit... Oh, now it's Marik, huh? Last time it was Ishtar. Couldn't call it Marik. For whatever fucking reason. Marik's unit has enough fight left in them to chase after us anymore. I've been meaning to thank you. If you hadn't come when you did with your big boobs and distracted all of our enemies, well, I doubt we'd have made it out of there. Alive. So thank you and your big fat boobs. Now don't go getting all soft on me, and how dare you talk about my boobs? Listen to me, those are double D's. Those things, I mean, I could die happy between those. I don't care what it takes. We're gonna get out of this game, I promise you. And then I'm gonna motorboat you. No. Sorry, I just can't help myself. Joey, stop being a pervert. Reversal. Reverse, reverse. Reverse, reverse. 5 hops this time. As news of their victory spread, groups of revolutionaries from all over came to join the Black Dragon Squad. One day, a secret messenger appeared before the increasingly powerful Black Dragon Squad. Furious with his defeat, Ishtar, yet again, has decided to take out his anger on resistance sympathizers in nearby villages. The leader of one village managed to escape capture, but is now running for her life from Ishtar and his forces. Joy mobilizes his troops and heads off to save this brave leader and her people from the ruthless empire. Don't give away who it is, game. If I hit A here and you say that who the fuck it is, I'm not gonna be happy with you. Thank you! This is the way it should work. They should not fucking sit there and tell you every goddamn thing. Oh, Yugi's forces go into battle, and then a general comes forward and says, "We've spotted the dark magician in the enemy's army." Well, clearly we're gonna be fighting Arcana then. And it's like, oh, well, this happens, and then da-da-da-da-da. It's like, stop spoiling it before we actually get there. Let us get into the goddamn level, and then be like, holy crap, look who it is! That's enough of my rants for today, though. That will do it for us today, guys. As always, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to leave a like. If you have any comments or suggestions, you leave those in the comment section down below. If you want to keep up to date with all my videos, you can subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook to become part of the conversation, also part of the voting for games I should play in the future. And as always, I'm DemonFire93, and I'll see you guys next time.